Hello everyone, and we've got a special video for you today. And my name is Albert. It's been a while since I've been on this channel, but I've just gotten a brand new box, fresh off the press from South Korea. And this is something that I think most of you viewers might be very intrigued in seeing. And it is the first set of Vanguard overdress in South Korea, the Korean edition, which was actually only released 2 weeks ago. Just got it in my mail. And a couple stories about South Korean Bushiroad product, specifically for Cardfight Vanguard, is that it's a bit different. Now, the reason why is because Bushiroad, who's actually on this box, doesn't actually create the boxes and the product in South Korea. Actually, South Korea's boxes are created by a company called Daewon Media. And these boxes are, as you can see, very different to the ones that we get here in the United States. Now, one of the other major differences, and most of you are wondering, well, if it's just the same box that we get in English, why is this interesting outside of the different look? Well, first of all, if you actually look at the box and you were able to check out the different rarities that are listed right here, you'll be able to see that they're all the same outside of one rarity. Now, there's one rarity that's different, and that's called SH. Now, SH stands for Special Hollow, and there's 10 different types. This consists of the 5 PGs and the 5 starters that are within this set. Now, to compensate for the SH type, Korean boxes don't come with the hollow rarity that the EN boxes do of 50 types. However, one special thing about the SH is that it's 1 per box. Now, these are much rarer, and these look a lot different from anything that we have in EN or JP. Now, because of this, this is an exclusive rarity only to Korean boxes. And to show you kind of the differences between the Korean product and the ones that we have in English, as well as the card quality in terms of Japanese, I will be presenting those at the end of this video. One other major difference as well with these boxes is that each box comes with 30 packs, and this box actually only costs 30,000 Korean won, which roughly translates to $26 US. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, that's crazy. The English packs cost $4.99 US or $3.99 USD. And so essentially an English pack is worth, 2 to 4 times that of a Korean pack. Now, these Korean packs individually retail for 1,500 Korean won, slightly over $1. And so again, crazy value for these boxes. Now, these boxes have a couple other secrets into them, but we'll kind of look at that as we go through this unboxing. So first of all, let's unbox this here. Now, each box comes wrapped in a crazy amount of plastic wrap, and it's quite easy to rip. There's a specific plastic wrap line that surrounds the entire box. So from that, along with a hole on the side, you'll be able to open this. And now, opening the box, you'll see that it's matte. It's actually quite sturdy, these boxes. They're much better than the paper ones that we get in in English, really. They're very sturdy cardboard, and they open from the top as you would expect. But for displays, you can actually just tear them down, and from this line here that you can see, it'll just display the packs that are displayed inside. Now, let's take out these packs to kind of see what we get inside. As you can see here, 30 packs, nicely bounded in. It's 5 cards a pack, so slightly less than what you would normally get in English. And you get a promo inside. It's just a random promo, as well as the normal pack of sleeves that you would get in any other box that you would get in English as well. So it all remains the same, but the packs are here. Now, a pack of Korean cards looks like this. The back looks slightly different as well. As you can see, all of the different types of Korean information with all of the token information, all the parallel information, as well as everything else. And it has that Daewon Media logo at the bottom here, along with all of the different guidelines. There's nothing too crazy about this. However, Korea does get one different thing with the purchase of a full-blown case of this set that English doesn't have, and that's the matte. Now, English gets those nice looking over-trigger mattes, which I have nothing against, but the Korean version of this matte is actually Virena. Interesting. I think a lot of people would have liked that, as it is the cover card, and the matte looks very, very nice. So I don't particularly know why the Korean matte was, you know, that version of the matte wasn't provided to us in English, but hopefully we get a Valiente matte in the future, because I really do like the art. But let's take a look and crack these open. Now, Korean packs, unfortunately, unlike the English packs, are actually fairly difficult to crack open. They don't have that nice little slit at the top. Don't know why. And unfortunately, because of that, you kind of have to open these like this and tear them straight down the middle. It's not my favorite type of pack to open. So we can open these. Kind of is destroyed, but it's fine. And let's see what we got. So first of all, we get some commons, and so we'll be able to see some commons here. And then we get a rare. Now, as you can see, there is a difference with the rare as well. It's not foiled. It's just Trivash, but as you can see, it's not foiled, and so there is one downside there. But first pack, when we get Virena Valiente. Now, as you can see here, the triple R foiling is different from the English cards. They are like more of those square boxes that you can see, and honestly, it looks pretty solid. I mean, I don't mind these at all, and I honestly quite like this foiling. And so the first pack, we've already gotten a triple R, and we'll do a recap at the end of this video on exactly what all we got, but it's a good start for now. So, as I said, these packs are a bit rougher to open. There we go. And let's see what we can get. And so, again, some more commons. 5 cards a pack. Tri-Connect. The rare. And Geonosla, the teddy bear for Magnolia, is the next triple R. Now, you might be thinking, wow, that's crazy. 2 packs and 2 triple Rs. That doesn't happen, so that means the rest of the packs might be duds, and that's where you're wrong. The interesting thing about these boxes are that usually in English and Japanese boxes, we would get, what is it, 4 triple Rs, 5 double Rs per box. For Korean, DBTO1, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a trend for DBTO2 as well, or any of the other sets for that matter, but for the Korean packs, you actually get 8 triple Rs a box and 10 double Rs, so pretty crazy ratios there. And we'll follow that up by showing you really the number of ratios of the cards that we end up getting. But here's more commons. The Orphist rare, and Zorga. And so already, right, 3 triple Rs out the gate. And here's another look at Zorga for any of you that wants to see it. But yeah, as I said, it looks quite good. That nice little, what do I call it, like boxy foiling. And they're not prismatic. The other cards are prismatic, but these aren't prismatic, but they look fantastic. And I'm hoping, crap, this won't open. I'm hoping actually to get that SH sometime soon, or the overtrigger. Honestly, the overtrigger rarities look pretty interesting as well. So we get this open. There's some of the commons, the R, and wow. Okay, cool. So we got the SH. Now this is the starter for Dark States, as you can see here. It's kind of awkward that the 2 cards I got end up being the 2 cards that were revealed. But you can see the starter for Dark States here. Looks very nice. Has the logo at the top, or at the top here with the name here. And this is actually in prismatic foiling. It looks extremely, extremely nice. And honestly, I think this is a better chase rarity, if you want to call it, than the holos that we normally get. But yeah, this is the difference that you can see here, and I'll show you a different one as well, the starter for Keter Sanctuary. But later on. But yeah, this is a phenomenally amazing looking card. I really appreciate the amount of time and effort that they were able to put on this and give us a rarity like this. I really do hope the English side or the Japanese side gives us this rarity. Really do enjoy it. Really think that it looks clean. And you know, if anyone from Bushiroad English is looking at this, please give us this rarity. It's probably the nicest looking thing that I've seen in V-Series thus far, and I've seen the SPs as well. So I'll show you the SP comparison later, because this box does obviously come with SPs. So we'll just skip the commons, the rare, as well as the double R. So in this case, it's Hendrina. The double R rarity doesn't change. It's still that nice clean foil look. Nothing too crazy there. Again, the card quality here as well is it's not too bad. It's not too flimsy. Seems a slightly thinner than the English cards, but it's nothing too crazy. And later on, when we do the comparison between these cards and the English cards, we'll definitely put the side-by-side thickness and everything there to show you kind of the difference in card quality and maybe a reason why Korean cards are so much cheaper than the English cards. But yeah, so here we go again. Let's get rid of the commons. And then we have the rare as well as the double R in this pack, which happens to be Painkiller Angel. So 2 double R's in a row. We've already burned through the SH. Really only have the SPs left to go. As I said, the SH is 1 per box guaranteed. It doesn't change. I was hoping for a PG to show you, but ended up getting the Dark States starter. Pretty unfortunate. Let's see if we can get the DSR. The DSRs are slightly different too. They have stamps on them, actually. It was with their specific name of the unit. So in the case of Nirvana, it says Nirvana on it. And then in the case of Trickstar, it says Trickstar on it. And it's just a stamp on the actual foiling itself. I haven't actually seen the card in real life to tell you exactly like how good it looks or whatnot. I don't have that on me unless we get it in this box, which hopefully we do. But obviously, I would assume, are very similarly foiled to the SH. And I'll show you later that on the SP foiling as well, what that looks like. But from now on, I'll just kind of go with only the R's as well as the actual holo in the set. In this case, it's a double R. Of Fasado. And here's the rare PG. As I said, no foiling, and so some people might actually really dislike that just because the card is glossy with no real foiling there. But honestly, I don't think it's too much of a problem. Most of the people who actually probably care about the R foiling are probably playing the SPs anyway. So yeah, I think that's the case, because I was never really too much of a fan of the R foiling. And if you are, put a comment down below and let me know what you think about the foiling changes from the Korean version as opposed to the English version. And so here we go again. Commons down, rare, the unicorn, as well as the double R Bubble Mind. So the nice clean foil look of a double rare. Completely cut out on triple R's now, and holy crap, this pack opens very well. So let's go, take the 3 out, and the rare is Husk Dragon, as well as the double R being, I don't remember his name, but it's the Brant Gate robot guy, although most of them are robots, so probably not telling you much. And the next round, get rid of that, and we have Aegis Mare, the PG for Keter, as well as Hexa Orb, this nice rare Korean rarity. Holy crap. Okay, and we got Divine Sister, the countercharger for Hexa Orb, as well as Alden in that new triple R rarity. Oh, nice thing that we have Alden, because we can later do a side-by-side comparison with that card and the English Triple R. Very strong card. If any of you were watching in the Cardfight Con tournament, you will have seen me in the feature match where I played Bastion. I lost both of my feature match games, but in any case, you will see that Alden definitely puts in work, at least in the second feature match game that I played, and honestly, it's one of the better cards in the format, so it's not one of the best cards in the format. So going through, we got another Divine Sister as the rare, and the Prison Triple R. So nice looking foil there, pretty nice. Honestly, I think with this card in particular, the foiling on this makes it look a lot better than the English version. I don't have the English version of this card on me, but the English foiling is all the same anyway. It's this kind of zigzaggy thing. I'll show you in a bit. And I think this just looks better on this card in particular. Some of the other cards, you know, maybe like Zorga, I think the other foiling could be better. But with her, I think definitely this foiling really does suit her. So with the next pack, let's rid of this. We got another Pentagram Sorceress, so more Hex Orb cards, and Orphist. Orphist. I also think Orphist looks quite nice in this specific foiling. Again, really good job with this specific foiling. And if you haven't been able to tell, we're already at 7 Triple Rs. So as I said before, more Triple Rs than the English or Japanese sets. Exactly double, to be precise, is how they advertised it, compared to those specific editions. And so definitely, I think, fantastic bang for your buck. For any of you that are in Korea or playing in Korea, please check it out. And if you do plan to visit Korea or are in Korea, check out Dogok Dual Shop, who are the nice folks that were able to hook me up with this product. It's not sponsored, by the way. The shop owner is just a good friend of mine that was able to get me these cards when I asked. And so fantastic people, and if you let them know that Albert, sent you, they'll probably give you a deal, and they'll probably be very happy to hear that. So let's go to the next one. And this time is the first time we actually didn't get something of higher rarity, 2 double Rs. So it can happen. It's not like everything is just, you know, extremely high rarity stuff. So can happen, but it's very unlikely to happen. So that's just something to keep in mind. But as I say that, it's another 2 double Rs. So Dark Strain, that's nice. So let's keep going and let's try to get through this. Man, I really do feel the pain of not having the little notch at the top. I really think that the English and the Japanese side do that very well. And I really think the Korean version should adopt it. I think that's the one major downside of these Korean ones. And so again, another 2 double Rs. Man, everything's stopped all of a sudden. We're missing a triple R, and we're missing 5 double Rs, and we're missing our SP, as well as our overtrigger. So we still have a ways to go, and potentially a DSR if we can get that. Not actually 100% sure what the DSR replaces in a Korean set. It's kind of hard to get information about these Korean cards. I am part of the official Korean blog, if you want to call it that, the official Korean kind of group where they do all of the announcements, and where most of the players are. Similarly, the Vanguardians equivalent of Korea, although it's not a Facebook group, it's actually a neighbor thing. So definitely a lot harder to access some of these Korean information unless you're on Twitter, where there's a decent amount of Korean players that do post about that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting and different, very different environment over there. Mostly because these Korean cards actually only be able to be used in Korean tournaments, and therefore they work only in the Day 1 media events. Now, an interesting thing about the Day 1 media events, and some of these Korean players do play in WGP as well, which is the official Japanese Bushiroad event. But the thing about the Day 1 media events is that they pay out cash. So there is a huge difference there. Their WGP is a bit different. So the next card, Violate Dragon, the PG4. Brantgate, as well as the overtrigger, the Dark States overtrigger. And so, as you can see here, the overtrigger also looks different. It's just a double R foiling. I wonder if I have my overtrigger here that I can show you later, but we'll be able to show you the kind of the difference in that as well. But yeah, the Dark States overtrigger. So overtrigger out of the way. I think the double R foiling looks clean on the overtrigger, to be totally honest. I don't remember off the top of my head if the overtrigger, there's a huge difference in the normal rarity versus the Korean rarity. That one's one of the main ones that I don't remember off the top of my head. But two R's here, no foiling there. And another interesting thing about the Korean version of Cardfight overDress that most people don't know is that, or not overDress, just Cardfight Vanguard in general, is that Cardfight Vanguard in Korea used to exist in original format, and it only lasted up until Legion, I believe, where a different company called Academy ran it. And when Academy was running this specific game, it didn't do too well in South Korea, which is surprising. Card games are not looked upon positively, which you would think is interesting because video games are very much looked upon positively, as you can see from other video games that South Korea does very well at, which is most video games, to be honest. StarCraft, for example, League of Legends, South Korea does very, very well. Overwatch, but for some reason, card games are just not looked at as fondly in South Korea, and therefore, you don't see a crazy number of people as you do in Japan play these kinds of games. But Academy, a famous hobby company, used to run this, and to be totally honest, their cards were really interesting, but the game didn't do too well, and Day One Media actually only took over for V format. So actually everything inside of G format wasn't actually created in Korean, and for G format, they just generally play Japanese cards. And were integrated into that Japanese meta. Now they're kind of doing both. If you wanted to play in Japanese format, you can play it in Korean format, similarly to other card games, which it does the same thing, except in some of the other card games, the Korean cards can actually be played inside of the OCG formats or the Japanese formats. In this case, they cannot be, as far as I'm aware. But as I said, the incentives for playing the Korean format is actually quite great. So overall, it's not too much to deal with there. Let's just keep going to see what more we can get. And it looks like we got another double R for Dark States, the guy that draws you 3 and Soul Treasures 1. Draws you 1 with a Soul Blast 3, my bad. Draws you 3 would be probably the best card in the game, but it's not what it does, unfortunately. It's just Soul Blast 3, draw 1. And we got an R, and we got Majori, the really, really strong card for Final Rush. And so she's an absolute staple, and she looks absolutely fantastic here. Again, double R rarity is the same, so she looks absolutely fantastic in general is what I'm saying. But still no SPs. What in the world? Are they all stacked at the bottom or something, waiting to come out? Or maybe the DSR is there and we're just gonna get surprised. So what did we get here? The rare and the Kagura double R. I think he's the one that lets you search a copy of your Vanguard. A pretty solid card. So let's see what else we can get. Tribash and Arcs. Good stuff with Arcs. And I think that puts us at 9. So we're missing a triple R and a double R. And SP, maybe a DSR. We will see about that. And we get our final double R, which is actually a duplicate. So I guess we can get duplicates with these double Rs. And so, yeah, there's 10 types of double Rs. I imagined we would just get one of each, but it looks like the final one is going to be a duplicate. And we got the unicorn again, and our first SP, Alenia. Now, as you can see here, the SP is not fully full art, well, it's not really fully full art, so it's not borderless, right? And the SP is textured. It actually is textured. Yeah, you can feel it, but it's also prismatic, following the SH's rarity, and so the SP does look significantly different from this version to English and Japanese. So we'll talk about this more, but it's our first SP, and she looks fantastic. And I think I actually prefer this SP, this version of the SP versus the English version, just because I don't think the white thing that the English version has really suits some of these cards as well as some of the others. But here's going to be an R and another SP. This time it's going to be the SP over trigger for Stoicheia. I don't actually know if this is done per box, but every time I get one SP, they always seem to be from the same nation. Anybody that's just Korean in the chat, let me know if you've opened more than like 2 of these boxes, and let me know what's going on. Another thing that you would notice is we got 2 SPs. So double rarity on everything. Pretty sweet, honestly. 30 bucks. You can't really go wrong with that. And so yeah, there's that. And again, this SP trigger, man, looks amazing. As you can see here with the nice matte on the unit, as well as the prismatic hollow going across, and we'll compare that as well. And so we're on the last pack. I don't think I can get a DSR anymore, but we'll see. We're missing the last triple R, I believe, still. And so it's either that or maybe the DSR. I don't know what the DSR replaces, as I said before. So we are going to definitely try. Holy crap, this pack moved wrong. Okay, I hope this. All right, I'm sorry about the quality of that, but yeah, all right. So the commons. And we got the Barrow Magnus order as well as Eden. So I think Eden also looks well in this rarity. One thing that I do want to show you side by side, because we ended up with an Eden, is the difference between the SP and the normal Eden. And so there's that. Also, the other SP I ended up getting was Barrow Magnus. So as you can see, you know, it seems to be part of the same nation that you get. Although I don't know what's wrong with all of this, but I ended up getting the 2 starters that were shown. But I did find that you get the PGs. You can also get all of the different starters from this set as a part of this. And so they do look absolutely phenomenal here. So we're going to do a short card comparison between the cards that we have here and the cards that we have here. And so the first card that I wanted to do a comparison on is actually the over trigger itself. So here is Bless Favor. The Stoicheia over trigger. So again, triple R, an ORR. It's really just side by side. You can see that they are both kind of that double R rarity. So nothing too crazy about these. Side by side with these cards, you might not be able to tell, but if I start flexing these, you can definitely tell that the English cards don't flex as much. And so you can at least, you know, the English players can be very, very happy about the cardstock that these are printed on, as opposed to maybe the Korean players. However, these are not as, just because these are a bit more flexy and not as sturdy as English cards, and I think English cards are amazingly sturdy. They're by no means absolutely flimsy. So pretty cool comparison side by side. I think these both look fantastic there. Now let's do a comparison of the SP over triggers, and this is just going to be an in general SP comparison as well. But I can show you some of the other SP cards as well, because the over triggers may look slightly different. As you can see the differences between these two, this one does get that nice prismatic feel, but this one also has the, as I said, with the triple R rarity, which is like that shattered glass kind of explosion thing. In my opinion, the prismatic foiling looks better. But let me know what you think about this as well, the comparison between the two over trigger SPs. Wasn't expecting this, but being able to compare it like this. Now, on top of that, let's do a comparison of normal SPs. And in this case, this is going to be Aegismare as well as Eden. Again, as I said, the prismatic kind of feel about these, as well as on this side, you get that kind of explosion type thing going on between the two. And actually, now that I look at it, the card back is slightly different. I don't know if you can notice the differences between kind of some of the text, but they have slight differences on them with how they're done. But yeah, let me know which one you think looks better to you. I'm just gonna bring up Elenia here just to show you kind of the differences between the clans. But let me know which one you think looks better, because I think overall the explosions on the English side just don't do that much justice to these cards for what they end up warranting. And so the next card is going to be Alden. Now here's a side-by-side comparison between the two Aldens. As you can see here, this one has the kind of the dot rarity, I want to call it, the dot foiling, as opposed to this one's with the same, as I said, kind of shattered glass foiling. I think overall the dot foiling, at least on Alden, may not look as good as some of the other cards, but overall I think I prefer this over this. Again, let me know what you think down below on what you think of the rarity difference. Do you care? Do you not care? Are you just envious that the Korean cards are cheaper? Maybe that's the case, but let me know what you think of the difference. So, and as I said, the double R's aren't really different, but let me just kind of show you a difference a comparison anyway between here is English Fasado and here is Korean Fasado. So again, both of them the exact same foiling, just the difference really in the finish. And overall, I don't think there's too much. In some cases, I actually think that the Korean one hollows a bit more, but I mean, that just might be me. They both kind of look the same. So just let me know if you think that there is a difference between the two. I'm going to try to angle it in the light here to see if you can find a difference. So there is that. And lastly, I wanted to do a comparison between the hollow, the rares in English format, as opposed to the rares in Korean. And that's because, as I said, the rares do have a difference. And so the rares have that nice, I don't know if it's nice, but it is a foiling, I guess, and the Korean ones don't. So do you care? Do you not care? Do you prefer this? Do you prefer that? I mean, does it really matter for you? I don't know. Overall, just let me know down in the links below to kind of see what the differences are. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up our opening here and our analysis of these Korean cards. Really, I think it's interesting what we ended up with these SHs and how different they are, and overall how generous the Korean rarity ended up being. I really think that being able to have these upped rarities and the company being so generous into handing these cards out and letting people build decks for fairly cheap, and instead of necessarily pushing singles, pushing product is a very, very good move. Not only do they, make a lot of money, since they make money from just offloading product, right? But also, the shops really do get a good bang for their buck on these products. Honestly, if you think about it, if it's only 1,001 a pack that they're buying it at, and they're reselling it at 1,500 yen, that's a 50% profit margin on each of these boxes if they just sell them in packs. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. And obviously, I'm sure the shops buy these boxes for significantly less than, 30,000 won. So, I mean, if you think about it, the amount of money that you could probably generate off of just sealed product alone is pretty crazy. And on top of that, it gives people that are just cracking packs and like cracking packs for fun a lot of things to look at, since you're pretty much guaranteed some kind of rarity, most likely throughout one of these boxes. Although I would assume the DSR is like probably 2 per case. Maybe I don't actually know if the DSR actually has a set one. It might actually be 1 per case, unlike NA or EN's and JP's like pseudo 1 per master case. The Korean ones might have that. Let me know if anybody has actually figured out what the ratio of the DSRs are supposed to be per case. But unfortunately, we weren't able to get one to show it off. We might be able to add in the picture at some point or have a link down below to show you kind of what those are supposed to look like, as well as what the PGs are and the other cards are supposed to look like as well, with the SHs, with the unobtainable rarity in English. And so I think these look clean. I think they're amazing. I'm really, really liking what the company is doing with Cardfight Vanguard in Korea, and I really think that Bushiroad has a lot to learn from the kind of support that they're giving to their player base with this cheap product, with their tournament circuit scene. I've only heard good things about, I believe, like the couple tournaments that they were able to host during V format, and now coming into D, I don't think they've actually hosted anything, but I've only heard good things about it. The way that they end up approaching the game, I think, is a really good idea. So definitely, if Bushiroad is listening, highly encourage you to kind of look at what the Korean game is doing, see if you can adapt anything from it. And the one last thing that I want to show you are the old Korean cards. For those of you that have met me in person, you will probably have seen this card. This is a Blaster Dark Revenger from the Academy days. Now, these cards are extremely rare now, since the game's dead, and these cards are completely illegal for play with the English, or with the current set of Korean cards. And the fact that the current set of Korean cards don't have G means that Korea doesn't have premium. They have V premium, they have G or D standard, and that's it. But the thing about these cards is that they are really flimsy, right? And this is an SP. You can see the texturing. The card looks fairly good, I mean, honestly. But wow, these things are crazy flimsy. And I mean, like, let's look at these two and let's just try to bend them, like, with the same, like, these are crazy. This is an English card. I mean, this barely bends. This is just absolutely wild. And then not only that, the back of the card as well is super waxy for whatever reason, and they feel like a sticker. I don't know what else to call it, but this card feels so weird. Maybe that's one of the reasons why this version of the game died. But honestly, this is one of the weirdest cards I've ever felt, and I'm actually glad that the Korean cards aren't like this anymore. You can see that in Korean, it says Vanguard, as opposed to the current Korean cards, which don't say anything on the back. They're just like the English cards. So different, but some of the craziest cards I've ever seen come from the Academy series. So if any of you have opened Academy Korean boxes, so from the OG sets, pretty sure they're still cheap if you buy them. Let me know what you think of them, because honestly, I only have this one card, and anybody that meets me, and if you see me in person, let me know if we eventually, when we have events, to look at this card and really just feel it. It's crazy. It's kind of gross, to be totally honest, what this card feels like. And yeah, it's one of the weirdest things I've ever done, this specific card, and I'll cherish it because it's one of my favorite units and one of my favorite eras, and actually the card that got me to Worlds. But overall, I don't think, this was the right quality. So yeah, that concludes my opening of DBTO1's Korean edition. And so let me know if you like this kind of content, and let Kai know, so he'll be able to give us all this feedback. But really, what do you think? Do you think EN does it better? Do you think Korea does it better? Do you think Japan does it better? What do you think is the best way to go about it? Do you like this kind of box better? Do you like the wider boxes better? Do you like the foilings? Just give any kind of opinion you have below. These are the same for our boxes and the Korean boxes, but just let us know. Let me know, and let the whole team know what your opinion is. And really, if you think that we should get something like this, let Bushiroad know. Make a comment on email support. Just make some comments on Vanguardians. They do occasionally monitor that, and just give your feedback on what you think about these. I personally think these are amazing. I think we should get them. If you like this kind of content, if you like our team, if you think we provide some valuable feedback and valuable content, make sure to click the like and subscribe button and hit that notification, just so Kai gets all of your blessings. And so tell Kai that you had a good time. really give him whatever you can, and I hope to see you again. Thanks everyone.